Hey guys, it's Tara. Welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing a review of Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. Just so you know, this is going to be a spoiler-free review, but I will have a spoiler discussion section at the end just because there's some stuff that I really wanted to talk to you guys about. So I will make sure to give plenty of warning before I hit the spoiler section at the end so you guys can click off if you haven't read the book yet. So Shadow and Bone is about Alina, who is an orphan, and at the beginning of the book she is working as a map maker for the army, basically as a soldier. And at the beginning of the book, her regiment is ordered to cross this thing called the Shadowfold, which is basically this area of magical darkness filled with like monsters and creatures of the dark. So they're ordered to cross the Shadowfold and her regiment is attacked, and basically the crux at the start of the book is that she unleashes this dormant power that she didn't know she had to save them all, basically. At the point that her regiment gets attacked in the Shadowfold and she unleashes this dormant power, she's then brought to the Darkling, and I'll explain more about him in a minute. Basically, the Darkling forces her to join the Grisha, which is the magic users of the world, in order to protect her and also so that he can train her and eventually help use her power to help him undo the Shadowfold. It's the ultimate like overall plotline of the book. So the characters themselves. So first we have Alina, obviously Alina Starkov. She's the main character of the book. She's a very self-confident character. She really doesn't believe that she deserves love or to have nice things or anything like that, which makes sense given her background as an orphan. She's never really had anybody believe in her or care about her really at all, other than one of the other main characters, at least for the first part of the book, Mal. So Mal is her best friend. He's an orphan that Alina grew up with, and they've basically been best friends and inseparable since they both went to the orphanage together. So he is also a soldier in the First Army. He's a tracker. And basically Mal, personality-wise to me, is kind of, I would describe him kind of like a frat boy. He's very like, he's a partier, he kind of sleeps around, he's, you know, very athletic, but like not really, never really struck me as being like super, I don't know, smart or thoughtful or anything like that. Maybe that's just me. And he doesn't really seem to, like, he cares about Alina in the way that they are, you know, they have a lot of shared history together and he considers her his friend, but that's about as far as he seems to like see her or care about her. So, and then there's the Darkling. The Darkling is this very super mysterious, harsh, you know, borderline cruel at times, but very like mysterious and broody and charming, charismatic character. So the world, I believe at least the continent they're on is called Ravka. It is ruled by a king. And then there is the First Army that I mentioned before, which is made up of all of the soldiers that are your basic like human soldiers of the world. And then there's the Second Army, which is called the Grisha. So the Grisha are the really cool, unique aspect of this world. The Grisha are these magic users, these magic wielders, and they are kind of a trained military elite. So the Darkling is the ruler or the leader, I guess, of the Grisha. He is second in power and status in the world only to the king himself. So as far as the magic system goes, it's definitely, I would say it's a hard magic system. There's a lot of like rules in place, a lot of like, you know, you have to do this to be able to do this. And there's a lot of almost kind of like a organizational caste system type of thing within the Grisha themselves. So I'm just gonna go ahead and grab the book and I'll read to you the different types of Grisha because it's a lot easier. So this is the book, by the way. It's a beautiful cover. I am a sucker for gold foiling of any kind. It's absolutely gorgeous. Okay, so the Grisha. There are 3 types of Grisha. So, and well, okay, there's more than 3 types of Grisha, but there are 3 main categories and then they're broken down within that. The first type is the Corporalki, and within that are heartrenders and healers. So healer is pretty standard, and then heartrenders are basically, the way they're described in the book is they can basically like crush your heart inside your body. I assume that they have similar powers to healers. They're just trained to do stuff within your body for fighting purposes instead of for healing purposes. Then there's the ethereal key, which is also called, they're also referred to pretty often as summoners. And within that, there are squallers, inferni, and tide makers. And I know the inferni have fire powers, tide makers I assume have water powers, and maybe squallers are air. Yeah, that seems right. I'm not 100% sure on the squallers. I don't think that they're very talked about in this book. And then the last kind of subcategory of the Grisha is the materialki. So they're also mostly referred to as the fabricators. And they have durists and alchemy. So they're like metal workers and alchemists and stuff like that. They're very, they create things. So the magic system was super interesting to me. I love a good hard magic system where it's like easy to understand. It's not too overwhelming. Some fantasy books can get a little overwhelming for me, but I like the rules and the structure. They have these things called amplifiers, which are objects that the Grisha can obtain for themselves that amplify their power. And also people can be amplifiers as well. So another part of like the kind of rules within the hard magic system is that the Grisha can only have one amplifier per person, and it kind of bonds with you. So once you have one, you can't trade it out for another one. And it basically just amplifies your power, what it sounds like. So the end of this book, again, without any spoilers, because I'm going to have a spoiler section here in a minute, I just want to say overall, it fell a little bit flat for me. I was super invested in these characters, super invested in the plot line. I really loved the overall story. And then the end, it wasn't that the end itself was bad, like what actually happened. It's just that it felt a little confusing. And then some of the choices that the main characters made seemed a little bit more like plot devices and not realistic choices that the characters seemed like they would have made, in my opinion. So for that reason, my rating overall of the book was a 4 out of 5. I had been planning to give it a 5 out of 5. I really loved it the whole way through until I got to the end and read that part. And then I kind of felt like I had to knock it back a star just for the ending not just slamming the way I wanted it to, basically. So for that reason, I did rate it 4 stars. I did want to mention there is a second and third book out. The second one is called Siege and Storm, and then the third one is called Ruin and Rising, and those are both out and available to be read. I'm super excited to see this come out on Netflix. I cannot wait to watch it. I hope it's done well. Please be done well. Please be done well, because the magic in this book is so cool. Like, I feel like it would be so visually appealing to see on the screen, and I just feel like it could be done really, really well if they have the budget to do it right and the special effects to do it correctly. And please don't be another Aragon, please. I mean, I know it's a TV series and not a movie, but I can't handle the heartbreak, because I really did love this book, and I just can't handle the heartbreak of this being another Aragon. I really can't. If you got this far in the review and you're leaving me now, thank you for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe below. Let me know what you thought about the book, and I will see you guys in a minute for the spoiler section. All right, on to the spoilers. Man, there's just so much in this book that I just felt like I had to talk to you guys about, because I haven't actually read the second and third books yet, and I have some predictions and feelings that I feel like either they're going to be controversial and people are going to be completely outraged that I would even say this, or I'm going to be right about some stuff. And I'm really interested to see and interested to take you guys along the journey with me and see if I am right about some of it, or if maybe I'm just crazy. It's very possible that I'm just crazy. So first, I want to talk about the Darkling. Okay. I love this character. I love him. I love him. Oh man, every part of my heart wants Alina to be with him. I don't know why. I really like his character. I feel like there's going to be some kind of like redeeming thing for him. And you know, he's like this super old immortal. And of course he's got some he's very morally gray, and I like a good morally gray character, okay? And he's even on the borderline of going towards a little bit evil, but I think he's savable, and I just really like his character a lot. And I was a little bit upset that Alina didn't end up with him in book 1. So my prediction here is that I feel like the entire thing of him like putting the collar on her and all of that stuff is going to end up being some kind of, I don't want to say misunderstanding exactly, but that, you know, he really does have good reasons for doing everything that he's doing, and that he does have a plan, and that maybe that plan isn't what other people have told her that it is. Like maybe it's really not, that he's trying to just cover the whole world in shadow. Like maybe there's even more corruption and evil behind the throne than we've seen at this point. And I just feel like there's a way to redeem him, and I want it to happen. And I'm gonna be so sad if it's not, because I really, really like him, and I like them together, and the shadow and the sun summoner together just is so perfect to me, and I just love it. And on that note, I want to talk about Mal too. So Mal, I just really don't like him, and I don't know if there is a possibility, I'm just gonna put this out here, there's a possibility that I don't like him because I want her to be with the Darkling, and she can't be with both of them, okay? So there's a possibility that I don't like him just because I want her to be with the Darkling instead. But I just feel like he's such a meh character. Like, I don't know. The friends to lovers trope is not one of my personal favorites. I much prefer like enemies to lovers, or, you know, strangers to lovers. I just, the whole like, oh, we've been best friends our whole lives, and I've loved you forever from afar, and now you've finally seen me. I just kind of feel like if you've been around her and been best friends with her for that long, and you've never noticed that she's like head over heels in love with you, what kind of person does that really make you? Like, I don't know. I just feel like if it was supposed to happen and it was this great epic love story, that it would have happened before now. I don't know. I just don't love it. It's not my favorite trope. So, the ending. Problems that I had here that made this book drop for me from 5 stars to 4 stars. For one, I feel like it was written really confusing. The scene where they go into the Shadowfold and they're on the boat and all of that, it was like all over the place, and I had a hard time following it while I was reading it, which I almost never do. And I had to reread certain sections of it to even understand what was really going on. And it just felt like rushed to me, and it felt like, I don't know, it felt chaotic. The big thing to me was part of the whole stag sacrifice thing didn't make a lot of sense. Like, I get that they're saying like, you know, having the ability to take someone's life and then choosing not to take it is kind of like you had their life the same way that if you killed them. So that was fine. It wasn't clear enough for me. I would have liked a little bit more foreshadowing of it, or at least more importance put on the moment that she had with the stag before the Darkling came and killed it. I don't know, something to make it feel more like aha and click into place whenever you see her realize it and be able to undo what the Darkling was doing to her. So I had some issue with that. And then the biggest thing, the very biggest thing that really like sealed the deal on me not liking the ending as much as I should have, was when she uses the cut. Okay, this big power that the Darkling has that we haven't seen anyone else use in the book, and it's supposed to be this really big focus of will and power, okay? She uses this power to cut the boat in half, not to kill the Darkling. Now, mind you, I'm so glad that she didn't kill the Darkling because I love him and I still want them to end up somehow magically being together. But the fact that she didn't try to use it on him, and that she used it on a boat full of people who were semi-innocent instead, makes me feel like it was a plot device instead of something that she would have chosen to do. Because if she really truly believes he's this bad guy who wants to kill her, who has tried to kill Mal, the person that she loves, and is going to, you know, put the shadow across the whole world and blah, 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 he's this evil, evil guy to her, right? She also knows that he is definitely going to go after her and Mal if they try and escape. And then she doesn't use the power on him. She uses it on the boat full of innocent people. Like, that to me just doesn't make any sense. So yeah, I had a little bit of a problem with that too. Like, and it didn't have to work. You know, the Darkling isn't immortal. He's been using that power a lot longer than she has. So it very well could have been that she tried to use it and then he did something to stop her. And that would have made more sense to me. But anyway, I'll stop harping on it now. Those are the issues I have with the ending. And I just want to end with saying that the Darkling better be who she ends up with, or I quit. I quit. I don't quit, but I quit. Because I really love that character. Anyway, if you stayed with me through this rant of a spoiler section, thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.